consistent. You know, whatever. I hate the spread of the BR, but the map design was good. I played with all my friends. That's when we were all playing a lot of Halo 3. Sean and Josh played Halo 3 at a competitive level in MLG. Like, they literally could play pro. Like, they played at the same level as pro players.
Yeah.
Like, the players that were on all those teams.
Well, you said they went to, like, tournaments out of state, didn't they? Or
yeah.
You guys went and traveled to
wherever?
Well,
they did and they didn't. Here's the thing. So, like, they're two of the best players in Idaho, right? But, in Halo this time, they pretty much had already established a lot of really good players from the Halo 2 community. And so you have all these teams that are already formed and have been playing together for a while and mesh really well and have strategies and all that stuff. And then you have, like, the newcomers who are really good, but, you know, are like free agents basically in a pool of players who are, you know, want to be professional MLG players. So Sean and Josh, like, gun skill wise and skill, like, whatever, are really good. But you have to, like, games like this employ so much teamwork. If you don't have 4 players that mesh well together, like, you can have 4 of the best gun skill players, like Josh and Sean.
Oh, yeah, but they won't communicate
if
at all.
If they don't have good teamwork, you're still not going to get the power-ups. You're still not going to get the objectives. You're going to get shit on by a team of whatever people with better teamwork. Because gun skill won't save you. Halo 1, if you were, like, a really good, you know, you were really good at aiming, you wouldn't lose your gunfights, so you really wouldn't lose many games if you had 4 people who just shit on everyone. Halo 3, you don't get that benefit because you're going to miss at a half distance, only maybe one of your bullets hits that, and there's just a lot more going on. It's a different mechanic in general for team play. So it changed the dynamic of Halo in general to be less skill-based. So, like, every game you're basically going, well, the skill gap from, like, the best player to the worst players, it's less because the aiming's not near as important. It's like a little more teamwork-based, a little more this, a little more that. Your individual skill becomes less important, and your overall teamwork, which is, you know, a good thing too, but at a higher level of play, you still have the teamwork dynamic with, you know, individual skill shining through as well. So it's like the perfect balance of competitive Halo. Halo 4 does away with this completely and goes, well, we don't really get, well, actually, we'll go to Reach. Reach next. They're like, all right, we're going to make it like Call of Duty. We're going to put Sprint in. Reach's failure and what solely killed competitive Halo off the bat, out of the box, Reach had Bloom. You know what Bloom was? Where you shot and it expanded. Okay, so here's the problem. You have an accurate gun, right? Accurate when your Bloom is not out. So what happens when your Bloom is out? How do you know if 2 people are shooting, just spamming it as fast as they can across, you know, mid-range map? Who wins that battle? What if it's a random number? It's like rolling the dice. Like, you might hit him, you might not. You can't have that in a competitive game. Like, it's either you hit them or you don't hit them. So Bloom was a really, really bad mechanic because everyone was like, just take it away and the game's really good. And granted, Halo Reach was really good when they took Bloom away. Like later in the
Did they take it away?
Yeah, in MLG they took it away, and it's a great game.
It's
fast paced, played really well. You still have to be really accurate. You could spam the gun as fast as you can, so it made it faster paced. You could kill shit, whatever. They even took Sprint away, which was a good thing too. Reach when it first came out was a fucking nightmare because if there was a person across a map, you'd be like, boom, wait for your move, boom, and they're like, oh fuck, sprint away. Like you couldn't kill stuff. Which doesn't punish bad players because if a person runs out into the open or like pushes too far, the other team should kill them. Like that's a tactical mistake. You should die, you know, and have to wait your respawn time or whatever. Because that's like a difference of winning a game and losing a game at a competitive level, and you can't have that kind of shit. So because out of the box Reach was so bad like that, and the kill times were slow and the maps were pretty shitty or whatever, I was like, they're like, it has potential, but it took them 5 months to fix it or whatever before they came up with that, and the MLG playlist didn't come out for yada yada yada. Whatever, it was random. It basically killed off the competitive scene for Halo, or what was left of it for the most part. MLG ended up dropping Halo 4 basically because it was like, we can't fix this. But so end of Reach happens. It was like the comeback or revival of it, and we're like, all right, cool. Everyone's like, well, what's Halo 4 gonna be like? What's Halo 4 gonna be like? So Halo 4, they go, well, here's your DMR. You can sprint really fast and stuff. You can kill stuff really fast and stuff too. But now we're gonna add in all the shit where weapons don't spawn, you get ordnance drops, which are random. There's all this other bullshit going on. You can instantly respawn in any objective game type, which completely ruins the whole competitive aspect of it. Because if you're making a push for a flag, you kill all 4 people, you should have 10 seconds to go get the flag and run back.
Just like,
Instant respawn, they're all boop, 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 and kill you before you touch anything. And it completely ruins the whole dynamic of competitive Halo, and basically to an unfixable point, because the developers were like, well, we could have just made that an option, but we decided to hard code that, and that's how the game's going to play. Like, live with it. So people were like, listen, man, like, if you want this game to be successful, you have all your, like, people who buy it on release day just to play it, the casual players who play, you know, whatever, Team Slayer players. Like, they never want to play at a competitive level. They just play it for shits and giggles and suck, you know, whenever they go with their friends and whatever, and drive around in vehicles and play zombies. But then you have the other people who are like, listen, the competitive, like people want to aspire to be good at the game, and you're taking away like a whole, like that is your saving grace for a game to live past, like, 6 months.
Yeah.
So it's a reason for people to continue playing.
Well, that's why no one's on Halo Online and Halo 4
No, that's
anymore,
exactly it. That's what I'm saying. Like Halo
dumb.
4 single-handedly killed the competitive scene of Halo. Like it was the final blow to it. Because Reach, they were like bringing it back. Because Reach at the end was actually pretty good, had good maps, good, like the gameplay was good again. And they're like, well, let's fuck it up and make Halo 4 and make it so you can't like fix it. Like they hard-coded it so poorly and made the aiming mechanics so much easier. Because if you notice how easy it is to no-scope in Halo 4, they're trying to do it in Halo 3 even.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, so you get aim magnetism, which I don't know if you've ever noticed, it's in every Halo game. If you're at a certain range, it turns red, right? Right. And your aimer will drag on a person and then speeds back up. And it gives you aim assistance because you're aiming with it. Yeah, you're aiming with this. You ever try shooting a teammate in any Halo game?
No, yeah.
It's harder than fuck.
Yeah, it doesn't
Well, it's harder than fuck because it'll lock onto them.
Yeah, right.
So that aim magnetism is what helps people aim with a control stick. Because it's not nearly as accurate as like a mouse. Because no PC game has aim magnetism. Because you have a mouse, which is extremely precise. Like that is your skill gun.
Right.
So they give you the aim magnetism to help with putting on a thumbstick. The thing about that is, the aim magnetism in Halo 4 is so fucking bad. Like your DMR, like I said, you can shoot completely around a person's head.
Oh yeah, 4 shot every time.
Yeah, 4 or 5 shot every time. And the weapon's really imbalanced. You can zoom completely across the map. The sniper rifle doesn't. The one biggest change, or a couple biggest changes, was like the bullet bounce, where your thing recoils and bounces into your shot. Terrible design for Halo, completely against all mechanics in every other Halo game.
Yeah.
Because the thing about being good at any other Halo, if you've ever watched like really good players like Sean or Lex or any of them play, when they get sniped, they don't go and panic and jerk the controller. They just turn and aim up like a no-scope or something to shoot back at them.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing, like keeping calm under pressure and like being able to shoot back with like a sniper rifle if you have like, power weapon.
Right.
That's how you determine who's a good player and who's not, because most people panic when they get shot or whatever and die. Well, Halo 4 is like, well, let's just fuck that. Like, if you're aimed and they shoot you, it's going to bounce your aimer up because we're not going to unscope you. Like, the snipers don't get unscoped when they get pinged, which is a terrible idea, too. But that was their counterpoint to the whole, like, well, it'll bounce your aimer up thing. Like, we want to be able to shoot across the map with the DMR. They basically wanted to do too much and make it whatever, which completely took away even more of the skill gap. So Halo 4 is like a joke in the competitive community because, like, your best players and your high level but not really good players. Like it's not that hard.
Like they still had like MLG tournaments and stuff, like the World Championships of Halo 4, but
the World Championships of Halo 4, I don't really even know what the hell that was.
Yeah.
I think that was the one VGL or whatever sponsored one that was from like the developing company that made it.
Yeah, I think it was 343. Does that even count as a freaking MLG?
Because MLG dropped it before it even had a season. Like they dropped it right off the bat.
Yeah.
There was like one exhibition thing or whatever between like 8 of the best like Halo Reach teams at the time. So they had that with what they could scrounge together for what they figured were like competitive game types. Because Halo 4, they couldn't even come up with a good like competitive setting because they're like.